Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I actually filmed this video last night and the footage was not usable. It looked like absolute garbage. So here I am for the second day in a row. For you guys it's going to be the first, but for me, the second day in a row to talk to you about my favorite discontinued, limited edition, or collaboration favorites that you can no longer get. I saw Samantha Ravndahl did this video where she went through some of her Holy Grail discontinued items or things that she loves in her collection that she just can't get anymore. And I decided to do the exact same thing because if she could suffer through it, so can I. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe. I do upload 3 times a week. And that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload, which again, 3 times a week. So I'm not going to hold off any longer. Let's jump into my favorite products that unfortunately you can't get anymore. Alright, so I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can because first off, it's painful because I love these products and they're not for sale anymore. And second off, I filmed this video last night. So for me, this is now the second time going through it. Starting off, this is from Anastasia Beverly Hils. This was the Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit. This is just the perfect highlighting palette for all skin tones. I think it has something for everybody. This was the first highlighter palette that I ever used where I actually dipped between shades and mixed stuff together. For me, that was important because I was so used to this is the highlighter I'm wearing. So I'm already glowing pretty highly today. So I'm going to take a little bit of Kitty Cat, the pink, the pink up here, just to make this a little more monochromatic to the eye look. But you see how these are just beautiful and blinding, and they just sit so nicely on the skin. I was wearing a highlighter that I definitely really like, and with barely any, I just amped that up to something above and beyond everything else. I am also noticing that I broke every single rule that there is, and I didn't highlight my inner corner. So I'm going to take a little bit of Forever Lit, which is the white shade, and I'm just going to throw that on my inner corner. A little highlight on the inner corner literally changes everything and just opens up the eye. And when this one got, not discontinued, it was limited edition. So once they sold through these and they left and went away forever, I was really upset. I stopped using it on camera. That's kind of a collectively across the board. Most of the time with a discontinued product, I won't use it on camera because I feel guilty using something that you guys can't get your hands on. This was the first item for me to fall in love with that I could no longer use with you. Next item, this is something actually you will see me use on camera from time to time. This is from Smashbox Cosmetics. It was the Holidaze Contour and Highlight Palette. The reason you still see me use this on camera is that the highlight and the contour, the bronzer, and the brightening shade, the 3 in the middle, are currently still available. Smashbox makes these colors all year round. It's the highlighter shades you can't get. I will use this palette and just tell you to substitute a highlighter, but if you end up liking this or you like the way it applies on me, you like the formula, you can still get these powders at Sephora or at Smashbox's website. It's just not going to be in this kit. However, the other day I was at an outlet store. It's a store called, I think it's called the Cosmetics Store. It's an Estee Lauder like overflow. So for holiday packaging, things that they have too many of or things that are just overstock, it'll be there marked down. I did see a bunch of these palettes still available. So there is a chance you can get it. I got mine after the holiday season was already over. I think I spent like $11 on it. And it is so worth the full retail price. But I love this palette. Amazing. I really wish you could still get it because like these powders, if Smashbox comes out with a contour and sculpt and glow palette this holiday season, get it. The formula is beautiful. Next up, I used this in a video a very long time ago. This is the Wet n Wild ColorIcon blush in Pearlescent Pink. This, for the longest time, was like my go-to blush because it was a less pigmented version of NARS Orgasm. I'm going to take a touch and add a little bit to the cheek so you can see what it looks like. Because again, I have not used it in such a long time. But it just adds such a beautiful pink sheen to the skin. Adds a little bit of glow, so it's not a matte blush. And it's just such a pretty formula. I was putting together, I don't typically tell you guys all the videos I do in advance, just because if it doesn't happen, you'll get disappointed, whatever. but I was putting together a full face of forgotten favorites, and I pulled this to use it, and then when I was looking things up, I realized it's no longer available. So not only is it a forgotten favorite, but it is also a product you can't get anymore. And for a $3 blush that I could obsess over, it was perfect. Next, from IT Cosmetics, this is the Bye Bye Pores Primer. It is a blurring, smoothing, and most importantly, a mattifying primer. I've been playing around with alternatives to this, and honestly, I have yet to find something that is as amazing as this in mattifying. I have, as of like 2 days ago, started playing around with the Sephora Super Matte Moisturizer for oil control. It doesn't blur as much as this. Like this I could use to blur and smooth. This can only mattify, but I pair it with, like today I paired it with my Tarte Clean Slate, and I really love the way it controls my oils throughout the day. So I've kind of found a replacement, but for one that I was in love with a pump applicator, it was just such a great formula. And the pore primer, or the oil-free whatever primer they came out with to replace this, I did recently try it. It is not the same. It is not my favorite primer. It is gone. It is dead. We are mourning it. And I'm still using it off camera because I refuse to use something for you guys to fall in love with that you can't get anymore. Next, also from Anastasia, I purchased this palette. I fell in love with it. I used it on camera a lot of times. And I didn't even realize that it was a limited edition product until I saw it no longer available. And I saw it in a TJ Maxx. So if you can get your hands on this in the TJ Maxx, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. It is beautiful. This is like the perfect smoky glam palette. You get your dark brown, you get your gray, you get your dark black, you get your warm transition shades, and then you get every sparkle you will ever need except like a true gold. Like steampunk up here is pretty close, but I don't typically do a solid gold lid. So for me, this is the perfect travel palette. Everything I ever need and then some. Anytime I'm traveling, I use this in my boxy in session eye look. I use this pretty much anytime I have to travel, put together a kit because I'm going to be gone for a long period of time. This is my staple for any night makeup, evening makeup, daytime makeup, date night makeup, doesn't matter. You can get any look and then some out of this palette. I am so upset it's no longer available. Like, they need to make this a staple. I will take this over the Soft Glam palette any day. Next up, the product that is probably the biggest hit for me personally. This is the DiorSkin Forever Foundation. This is in the shade 22 Cameo. This foundation was my best foundation in my Best of Beauty 2 years in a row. I've been using this for a very long time. I love this foundation. And January of this year, Dior discontinued it. They did reformulate, and I'll post a picture up here of the two foundations that they put in its place. Neither of them is the same. Neither of them works the same. Neither of them wears the same. And even the shade similarity is no longer this shade. This is literally my perfect foundation shade. It is, I almost don't want to swatch it because I don't want to waste it. But tiny bit right there. Like you guys can even see, that is the first foundation I ever found that was actually pink enough for my skin. It is so beautiful. It wears so nicely throughout the day. I picked it up off of a Jaclyn Hill recommendation, and honestly, the fact that they discontinued it hurts. However, that's my foundation. I am ready to go. I have stocked up. I have 3 more bottles on backup. I'm ready to go. I'm still hunting to find a suitable replacement because I do love this foundation so much. However, I know I have enough to get me through the next few years, and that is giving me a little bit of peace of mind. If you are in love with this foundation, I'm sorry you can't get it anymore. I am as upset as you are. Next, this was a limited edition item that actually sold out the day it launched. This was the Urban Decay Game of Thrones liner. This is in the shade The Night King, which is the most beautiful. It is both royal blue and turquoise, and it like flashes teal. Like depending on the light, this will give you every different shade of blue under the sun, and it's just beautiful. It's so long wearing, and I wish that they had this color forever and ever. It needs to be a permanent in the collection because it is such a beautiful, brilliant blue. The Game of Thrones collection basically sold out like within the first few days of it being available, and it never restocked. I mean, I feel like the palettes were still available for a while, but all the lips and the liners, no such luck. Beautiful. I got this the same week I got my Jeffree Star Blue Blood, my Blue Blood palette, and I used the two of them together for a very long time. Anytime I do a blue look, I tend to grab this pencil just because it is everything. And unfortunately, I will not be using it on my channel anymore because you can't get it. And that sucks. Next, from MAC Cosmetics, this was the Patrick Starrr. This wasn't even the original. When they launched Patrick's powder, it was in a little plastic jar. Then they re-released it because it sold out everywhere in this pretty red packaging. I did a full dedicated video to this, which I'll link up here. I love this powder. I don't love it for setting the face. However, taking a tiny bit on a fluffy brush and using it to retouch the face, it's perfect. This is great if you're a working artist, you're working on set, or you're doing like event makeup. This powder, you can continue to dust on top of the skin to just fix up the makeup without it getting super heavy. And it's just so beautiful. It gives you such, like, I set my foundation today with the Hourglass Ambient Powders, which are already light diffusing. This gives you that same effect without it getting super like cakey and heavy, even if you are using a lot of powder. So this is the second edition, and it is also now discontinued and no longer available. Hopefully they do come out with this formula again because it was such a beautiful powder. A lot of people really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping more people can get their hands on it. If not, I'm just going to have to continue to use it off camera because this stuff is beautiful. We are almost there. I have one last product. It is the third product from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I could not do a discontinued favorites without talking about the Amrezy highlighter. This was so popular that they actually brought it back for a limited engagement, and then it also sold out, and then they didn't bring it back. I know I'm already wearing like 3 highlighters today, but it's me, so why not add more? I'm going to take a little bit of this highlighter. You see how my highlighter was already blinding, but now it's like wet looking. This formula is so micronized, and the pearl is so beautiful that it just adds this beautiful glow to the face. Like, I could literally bathe in this stuff and be totally happy with it. It is the perfect shade of champagne gold that it is flattering on all skin types, all skin tones. It does not accentuate texture. It does not accentuate pores. It just adds a beautiful shine and luminosity to the skin. I'm obsessed with this. I use this all the time, on and off camera. This is the only product in this bin that I think I still continue to use on camera just because it is so beautiful, and I know so many people did get it, that I feel like it would be a disservice to not use this as often as humanly possible. I am obsessed. I am gonna not link this stuff down below because I can't, because you can't get it anymore. But hopefully this brought you guys a little bit into why I am so miserable. No, that's a little bit of an overstatement, but at least to why I'm very upset that some of my favorite products are no longer available. So make sure to sound off down below and let me know some of your favorite products that got discontinued, maybe some of your limited edition collabs. Don't forget, just because I didn't mention it here, there are still a lot of influencer collaborations, limited edition holiday packaging items that I do love. Like you guys know, I have mentioned my Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. That was this Holidaze palette, which is bronzer, contour, blush, highlight, all in one in a beautiful, soft-focused, beautiful packaging. I use it all the time. I am still a huge fan of it, but at least individually you can still get all of those powders. I focus predominantly on my ride or die products that I'm absolutely in love with, that you basically, for the most part, cannot get at all. So again, I am sorry to have to relive all of this again. I'm sorry if you're going to fall in love with something that you can't get, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.